Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. This video we're going to be discussing U.S. visas and U.S. immigration, specifically in the context of naturalization to U.S. citizenship. So basically we're also going to be talking about this from the standpoint of U.S. family immigration. So basically fiancés and spouses of United States citizens traveling to the United States and ultimately adopting U.S. citizenship through naturalization. Basically, unlike other forms of immigration, for example, investment, employment, etc., if an individual travels to the United States as a fiancé or a spouse of an American citizen, the naturalization process can actually commence in less time than it would take for, say, somebody going to the U.S. on an employment-based or investing-based visa. So what am I talking about here? So let's say with a K-1, that's the fiancé visa, you've gotten your Thai fiancé into the United States on a K-1 visa, you've married that individual, you've gone ahead and done what's called adjustment of status, which you can check out on this channel, information in another video about that process specifically. And then from that point forward, the clock is running for ultimate naturalization to United States citizenship. 3 years after that has occurred, 90 days prior to the 3-year anniversary, an individual who derived their permanent residence in the United States through marriage to a U.S. citizen, that individual can go ahead and file for naturalization to U.S. citizenship. The other thing to keep in mind is those who immigrate to the United States in CR1 or IR1 status, and basically, presumably, if an individual enters the country in CR1 status, that individual, 90 days prior to the 2-year anniversary of that individual's arrival in the United States, they'll need to go ahead and file for a lift of conditions, which is discussed at length in another video here. But 90 days prior to the 3-year anniversary of that individual's arrival, that individual can file for naturalization to U.S. citizenship. Now, I'm not going to go into details about all of the specifics regarding naturalization, but suffice it to say that that individual needs to spend a preponderant amount of their time in the U.S. in the interim between their entry in their status of being a green card holder, a lawful permanent resident. They need to spend the majority of their time each calendar year in the United States. But that being stated, there are certain exceptions, most notably for those who are married to U.S. service personnel in the armed services, or even those who are married to U.S. government employees who may be posted overseas. Those overseas postings are often treated as if that individual has been in the United States for purposes of the naturalization process. So, to sort of sum up the issues involving naturalization, what are the major benefits? Well, to the individual who becomes a U.S. citizen, one of the major benefits is U.S. citizenship itself, the right to vote, all of the rights that come in connection with U.S. citizenship are granted to those who are naturalized to U.S. citizenship. The other thing to think about is the U.S. passport, a very versatile travel document when compared to certain other types of travel documents. So that can be a real benefit. The other thing to think of is, especially for those, and this happens rather commonly over here in Thailand, is somebody may marry a Thai national and they may spend a number of years back in the United States during the majority of their time, but then perhaps after retirement or something like this, the couple decides to sort of go half in the United States and half in Thailand, kind of go half-time, half-time. Under those circumstances, it would behoove the Thai national with green card status, it would behoove them to become a U.S. citizen, because now there's no further rules regarding presumption of residence issues as far as having been abroad. Once citizenship is attached, it doesn't matter where that individual lives for purposes of retaining their citizenship. It can't be taken away just because they become an expat with their husband or wife, for that matter. So here in Thailand, at least, it's been a major issue with respect to later retirement in Thailand by a binational Thai-American couple. It's very beneficial for that Thai national to go ahead and get U.S. citizenship. It also does not affect their Thai nationality, which is a question that comes up quite often. Both countries have dual non-recognition of dual nationality, which basically means that when someone is in the United States on their U.S. passport, or they can only enter on their U.S. passport, their Thai nationality is not looked at. The same goes for Thailand. One's U.S. nationality is not recognized in that jurisdiction, in this jurisdiction. So sort of, again, to sum it all up, naturalization is very beneficial. One final benefit of note is to take into consideration the fact that the naturalization process extinguishes the responsibilities inherent in the I-864 affidavit of support. That responsibility is to reimburse the government should that foreign national go on means-tested benefits in the United States. That obligation is extinguished by dint of the fact that having naturalized, that person becomes a citizen in their own right and are not in any way sort of connected anymore to the sponsorship under the I-864. That obligation is extinguished. So that's another major benefit from the standpoint of the American citizen who's sponsoring their Thai spouse for lawful permanent residence in the United States. Naturalization is quite a beneficial process. U.S. citizenship has many benefits, and those who go to the United States and stay there long term are well advised to go ahead and naturalize as quickly as possible.